turn that. You got yours on. Okay, welcome everyone. We'll just start. Shannon will be here momentarily before we get going on any voting. Madam Secretary, get a call to order? Or I mean a roll call?
Jeremy Larson.
Here.
Dave Walters.
Here.
Shannon Bowers.
On her way.
On her way. You
All
have
right.
everyone here.
Thank you. So I just wanted to go over currently where financially travel and tourism is and kind of some where we're headed to in the future. So currently our balance is $331,035.13. If you'll excuse, coming down with a cold, so if I have to stop a sec, please excuse me. We have $126,508 grants that have not been funded yet, but are applied for. So it leaves us a current balance of $204,527.13. And then from a couple of good old social media comments, I just kind of wanted to, we're now going into our fourth year, 2026 will be our fourth year of travel and tourism. If you may or may not recall, for the town travel and tourism, it is voted on by residents of Alpine. And it's not a permanent tax. It comes up for revote every 4 years. 2026 will be the re-election, if you will, or voting again to continue or discontinue the Alpine travel and tourism. Our board, we cannot promote nor negate this, but we can educate. And that goes with town council as well. We can't promote a tax or not promote a tax, but we can educate. So in that spirit, I'm just going to kind of read on this. Let's see. So what our role is, educating the public about what lodging or any tax is and how it is implemented and the process. The first process is to understand how the tax is collected, both with a town lodging tax and without. Before Alpine voted for a lodging tax in 2022, the state of Wyoming has a permanent lodging tax of 5%. So anywhere you go in the state of Wyoming, any lodging, so hotel, motel, RV, Airbnb, guide service, extended stay, there's a 5% lodging tax attached to that stay. Now, with that 5%, how that works is that 5% goes to the state's Travel and Tourism Board. The state keeps 3%, and then it sends 2% to the county that it was taken in. And then that county does, the county should have a board set up, and that county's board will then do those funds. Why at the council at the time in 2022, why they brought the lodging tax to the residents of Alpine was because Alpine was not seeing any of that travel and tourism money. And it didn't necessarily have to go to Alpine. So if Alpine, say, wanted to apply for a grant of travel and tourism funds, you'd go to the county, and the county would then, if they had a board at that time, which they did not, then they would fund or not fund. But it was the county's choice, not the town of Alpine's choice. So the council at that time put on the ballot, the people of Alpine voted for it, and you can, in any municipality, you can choose either a 1% or a 2%. The council at that time chose 1%, kind of get the feet wet, try it out. That 1% passed, was overwhelming majority passed that 1%. So now what that means, and where we're currently at, is Now, if you're staying in the town of Alpine, in the incorporated boundaries of the town of Alpine, so at a hotel, motel, RV, Airbnb, I don't think there's any guide service in the town. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. But if you're staying at one of those places, then now it's 6% instead of 5%. So that 6% goes back to the state Travel and Tourism Board. The state automatically sends that 1% right back to Alpine. And then it keeps again the 3%, and then it sends 2% to the county that it was taken in. And because we have a travel and tourism or a lodging tax, the county then has to split that 2% and give back to the town. So essentially the town now gets 2% coming back. And that's, if nothing's changed with that, so if the current council chooses to put it on the ballot again for next year to re-up it, the process will be the same. Let's see. And then what can we do with the funds that were provided? That's actually pretty limited. And that's kind of where I come up with, we had some comments of, with our signage, you know, why didn't it go to streets and roads, blah, blah, blah. Well, it can't, via state statute. And the best way I know how to explain it is just reading specifically Wyoming State Statute 39-15-204A2. There we go, 1. Except as provided by subdivision 3 of this subparagraph, and bear with me, it's fun, of this subparagraph, at least 90% of the amount distributed shall be used to promote travel and tourism within the county, city, or town imposing the tax. Expenditures for travel and tourism promotion shall be limited to promotional materials, television and radio advertising, printed advertising, digital content, social media, promotion of tours, staging of events, educational materials, and other specified tourism-related objectives, provided that none of these funds shall be spent for capital construction or improvements. If the amount is collected under a tax imposed countywide expenditure, this amount shall be made in accordance with the Uniform Municipal Fiscal Procedures Act by a joint powers board. It goes on to say, so if Teton County, for instance, it's all kind of under one umbrella. They have a joint powers board. The county, Lincoln County, first thought of doing that. Myself, I said no. I know other municipalities said no because we're like, hey, we just got this started. We're not interested in creating a joint powers board where everything then goes to the county and we lose the control that we worked for to get now. So this way it provides funds that go straight to Alpine and we can put to those materials. It goes on, let's see, except as provided by subdivision 3 of this subparagraph, the amount remaining not to exceed 10% of total amount distributed shall be used for general revenue within the governmental entity imposing the tax. Meaning, so everything we get in, the town, county, city has the ability to chop 10% off for overhead, to pay staff, advertisements, paper, everything that kind of goes with it. As the town of Alpine goes, right now we don't do that. The cost to do this is well under 10%, and so we've made the decision so far to just keep as much as we can for the grants that are available to us. Let's see, and then it goes on to say, if any of the conditions specified in subparagraph H of this paragraph are met, the amount collected less the cost of collection as provided by subparagraph A2A of this section shall be distributed as follows. And so what subparagraph H is if we collect, so subparagraph H, if the county, city, or town has imposed a 1% lodging tax under Wyoming State Statute 39-15-204A2, the amount of assessment revenue received from that tax plus the 2% assessment on lodging services imposed pursuant to Wyoming State Statute 3915-104H2, for each of the preceding 3 years equals or exceeds $2,780,000, or it can reasonably be presumed, based on sales tax collection records, that the annual amount that will be received by the city, town, or county will equal or exceed $2,780,000. We're nowhere near that $2,780,000. But what this board's decided to do and what council has adopted is the process of what you do if you had reached that high amount. And then what happens when you reach that high amount is the state, then you have to break it down into 60% shall be used to promote travel and tourism within the county, city, or town, imposing the tax in accordance with subdivision 1 of this subparagraph. Again, that one was what I read earlier. 2, 10% shall be deposited in the general fund of the county if the amount is collected under tax imposed countywide. Again, that's the Joint Powers Board. That doesn't apply. But 3, they say 30%. This board chose to do a 60-40 model. 30% shall be used for the provisions of visitor impact services within the governmental entity imposing the tax. If the amount is collected under a tax imposed countywide, the Joint Powers Board, again, they're special with the Joint Powers Board. So for the town, what we've decided is to break it down, and you can go to our website. Can you put that up there? Under community, and then to the bottom right, travel and tourism, and then scroll down. So we have our grant guidelines, grant application, and bylaws. If you go under grant guidelines, that goes under our mission, our purpose, and with that mission and purpose, town council and this board are working to basically do the best balance between what funds can go to benefit tourism and what funds can go to create a positive impact on our community. I think I have it here. So if you read mission, Town of Alpine Travel and Tourism Board's mission is to help create positive experiences for visitors and residents by funding lodging tax dollars for projects and or events in the town of Alpine. It is my wish, this board's wish, and adopted by the town council that the town residents are the ones who vote this in. If we're focused solely on tourism and bringing more tourism in, we've seen what happens with Teton County and Jackson. You know, a lot of them want nothing of it. So it is kind of, we try and walk that balance of promoting events, projects that will benefit residents equally as it will benefit tourists coming in. And then our purpose, the purpose of the Town of Alpine Travel and Tourism Board is to provide for the promotion of travel and tourism within the Town of Alpine and to administer the distribution of lodging tax revenue, ideally for the benefit to local businesses and residents of Alpine. So that's other comments that I've seen made of like, hey, this is just for tourism. I know I spoke with one person because when you're on the Travel and Tourism Board, you have other marketers reach out to you quite often. And I've lately been having a lot of magazine marketers reach out to me saying, hey, you know, we'd love it if you advertised in our magazine for the upcoming snowmobile season. I asked the snowmobile group, what are your thoughts there? What's the best magazine? And their thoughts were no magazine at all. Like, okay. So we, instead of doing maybe a national promotion of that, in times of past, we've done grants to SVI. I was hoping maybe Duke will show up a little later. He's supposed to show up. But with that, so we've done targeted marketing with geofencing with SVI. So we've chosen specific target markets within the Wasatch Front, Idaho Falls, and then Island Park. So if you're in a snowmobile, retail shop, rental place, anything that has to deal with it, and you just happen to be looking on your phone, it's, Big Brother's always watching, it'll pop up and say, hey, Alpine's another great place to go. So we kind of work with that, again, trying to find that balance between positive for residents and meeting state statute with promoting tourism. Other than that, I just wanted to explain that. Is there any questions, thoughts, concerns? All right, hearing none, and for those people at home, you can easily get a hold of me. So the biggest thing and the hardest thing I had to come is, there's no capital improvements or maintenance. So unfortunately, with travel and tourism dollars, it can't go to streets and roads. It can't build a building. It can't. It's frustrating, but there's other avenues for that. All right, with that said, we're going to mix up the action items real quick, and we're just going to do B before A.
Thank you. My name is Shay Scafidi. I'm a resident of Alpine and on the town council. And I have to tell you, I wish we would pass a resolution to ask our legislature to change this so it could be capital improvements, because it pains me that we can't put in a bike path for, whether it's residents or tourists or snowmobile paths, it's just crazy to me that this is the chokehold they have on us. Okay, so Alpine Music in the Mountains, 2025, it went off great. I don't feel like we had any issues, and I don't think we lost any bands to weather this year, so that was exciting as well. So we did the first, let's see, last year was 10 weeks. This year we did cut it in half. We just wanted to kind of find the happy medium. I think 5 was probably a little too short, because a lot of people, and Chris included from the farmers market, were like, where did you go? So I will say this, and then I'll go back to my report, is I would like, hopefully next year, we bump it up again, and maybe we slot in a DJ or something else, but I'll put that in my application. So Alpine Music in the Mountains is to showcase talented local and regional musicians. The event ran alongside the weekly farmers market to create a lively community gathering in the heart of Alpine. The outdoor performances fostered a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere that encouraged residents and visitors alike to dine, shop, and connect, enhancing both the town's cultural vitality and its local economy. I probably would say we had about 100 to 150 each week. It was always hard to tell what our number was. So I wrote 1,000, and I feel like that's like revolving traffic through the farmers market, but I feel like we're getting more and more, just people know that it's part of the routine. I would say for next year as well, the town was great. Your logo was on all the social media, but I feel like I probably do need to get just an Alpine tourism banner, because I think that would be key. I think what gets hard, and the reason why posters are difficult or banners, is sometimes my bands change at the very last minute. So if I could get a travel and tourism banner, I would have it up every week.
That is on the agenda tonight.
Okay.
For promotional materials. So we're
Okay.
looking at banners, stickers,
The flags. Yeah. Well, and I think that's the other thing I realized is I do need to get those flags as part of my budget that say music. And something so when people are driving home, rather than just like, oh, it's the farmer's market, I want them to know, pull in. So that's one. How was the project event created? How did it create tourism? I think, and I sound like a broken record every year now, I think at the end of the day, people that are at hotels in town, word of mouth, or they're at the dinner at the Moose or driving down and they see it. And a lot of people will say, we're visiting, we stopped, or we see people off a bus. That's great too. They'll show up as well. So that's been wonderful. How does your project event make a positive impact on the Alpine community? I'm going to always go back to, I feel like it creates community. So people that don't see each other all summer, I see everybody talking, and it makes me so happy because we're all busy, we're all running, and it's like that one little moment in time that we get to catch up with everybody. So I love it, selfishly. Was the objective met? I always feel like it's met. It was providing tourism entertainment, local entertainment. Will you have the project again? I do hope so, as long as money is there. What would my change be? I think I wrote 6 Thursdays, but after talking to Chris and a few other people, if we could get back to 10 without blowing a extremely large budget, and that's kind of why I was saying, dip in a DJ, dip in karaoke. I mean, we did it that first year. I think that would kind of stretch our money. So that was one dynamic. And then as far as future partners, I have to say I was so exhausted by last summer that I kind of went light on sponsorships. So I think I may have to bring people into this dynamic to help me ask around. But I will say this, the Alpine Valley RV Resort is so tried and true. So they gave us another $2,500 to offset. So I really appreciate that. Other than that, if you guys have questions, I will make it short so you guys can all chat.
I don't, you
Yeah,
can name.
I don't have any questions.
Okay,
No, thank you so much for doing that.
yeah, we'll keep doing
I know
it.
you put a lot of work into it.
I mean,
Yeah, for
every
sure.
year it's a labor of love, so thank you.
Thanks, Shay.
Okay, and I apologize, I've got to go.
No problem. All right, get back on track. Next up, action item, first reading, grant submission by the Semi-Quincentennial Committee on behalf of the town of Alpine. Can I get a motion to bring it to the table?
Motion to bring to the table grant submission for quintennial committee on behalf of the town of Alpine.
Second.
All right, first and a second. Discussion, Mayor.
Hi, everybody. I'm here with Krista Tidwell as well. We both serve on the Semi-Quincentennial Committee, and we've met, gosh, how many times? At least a half a dozen times or more. But it's a committee of, 6 people or so. Other people may show up. It's kind of an open, anyone that wants to come and participate is welcome to. But we've brainstormed some really kind of big vision of what we're looking for. And I don't know if you guys have this in your packet. Okay, I'll just run through real quick what just this is the high level stuff that we're talking about. So of course on Thursday there will be the farmers market with music in the mountains. And then on Friday, we are going to have a car show here at Town Hall, and Top of the Rockies is likely to have their serve burgers and all that stuff. There will be vendors and food vendors at various locations around town. We're going to have a patriotic pet contest, and then that night we're actually going to have a fundraiser gala. Because we are fortunate enough to have Richard Petty sign up or agree to be our Grand Marshal in the parade. So the concept is for the car show is that we'll be able to bring people in from the region at an opportunity to have Richard Petty ride in their car in the parade. And we'll invite other dignitaries. We're going to invite the governor, state senators, U.S. senators, the whole thing, see who will come. And so those people will have an opportunity to have any of these dignitaries have their car chosen to be in the parade. So then the gala is, there won't be any funds that will come from travel and tourism for the gala. It'll be like a fundraiser, people buy tickets or whatnot. Then on Saturday, so there's a scavenger hunt that happens. There'll be food vendors. And then Alpine Air Park is going to have some sort of 4th of July event. I don't know exactly what. I think it's going to be a static air show. And then 7 o'clock, the parade will start. And like I said, Richard Petty will be the Grand Marshal. Then we are going to have a concert down at the ball field that will start somewhere after 8 o'clock. Probably before 9 o'clock, but maybe 8 or 8:30. And then the fireworks come at 10 o'clock, just right after the concert. Or right at the final song, the big crescendo would be pretty cool. So the application that we're bringing forward tonight is The committee chose an up-and-coming country artist by the name of Jake Worthington, and his fee is a $25,000 fee. And because we have never worked with them or the promoter before, we have to give them a 100% upfront.
Who's it again? Sorry.
Jake Worthington. And the rumor is that he's going on some big stadium tour events as like an opening act. So I think he's small enough that we can afford him now. Eventually, we'll be able to say, yeah, that guy was in Alpine, I think. There were other people. The range was from 25,000 was the lowest, and most of them were in the range of 35,000. And we had some acts that were over 100,000 to bring in. Our intention is to not charge for the event, and this be a free event. We want people to be at the parade and, mosey down to the ball field where there's going to be food vendors and a bunch of, a DJ going throughout the day and make it really lively. So we anticipate, I don't know how many people are on the parade route, during the 4th of July, but we are anticipating anywhere from like 1,500 to 2,500 people at the concert. Things that aren't included in this, but will be later, are things like the stage. We're going to have to hire a promoter to help out with speakers and all that stuff. But this is the first step. We have to get him booked, if that's what we decide to do, so we can, start promoting it and everything like that. So, anything you'd like to add, Krista?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Is there any, well, if you guys have any,
Now I'm curious just to see what you have to say from now.
Dave?
Yeah, David.
Obviously, I probably have a lot of questions, but I'll try to limit them a little bit, and we can discuss more later. But obviously, I'm a big live music fan. What is the anticipated budget for the remaining items other than
So
this,
Yeah, the
this
25
show?
grand.
The 25 grand, yeah.
we're still developing that list, but for example, since it is the semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of, the birth of the United States, that we kind of want to go big. So instead of the typical 15,000 for fireworks, we want to ask for 25,000. There's going to be a lot of there's a special flag for the semi-quincentennial, and so we want to buy flags and we want to do other promotional things. If you take this 25,000 out of the total, which preliminary budget is somewhere around 90,000, so the rest of the budget, maybe take out the fireworks off of that. So I think we're going to be around 40,000 for the other miscellaneous things. And of course, we'll figure out how we can reimburse as many of those items as possible. But like for the concert, we need a bunch of porta potties. We need to rent a stage. We need the sound. All those things are not included in this 25,000, but they are included in the overall thing. We have not yet gotten to the point where we're looking for sponsors, but maybe there's, a beer sponsor or something for the concert, things of that nature. So we'll try to offset as many of the expenses as possible. Some of the other expenses would be, hotels for the dignitaries. We have no idea how many dignitaries are going to come in, but we're kind of putting a lump sum in there. Other miscellaneous things throughout the weekend for sure.
And out of that 90K, give or take, budget, how much is anticipated to be requested from the tourism board, and how much is the town contributing?
On this especially, we want to ask for 100%. On the fireworks, that's kind of up in the air as well, but I think we'll ask for 100% for the town, because that, to me, the town has matched in the past, but the fireworks show, to me, is like purely travel and tourism. Of course, all the locals watch it as well, but I think it should be supported by that. So I would be open to your recommendations on that. So other than that, I think the town, will definitely be able to budget for our fair share of the rest of those expenses. typical 20% or whatever. We'd look for your suggestion on that.
And the 90K budget, does that include the fireworks in
Yes.
there? Or is that the fireworks separate?
Yep, fireworks would be in there and this 25,000 for the concert.
Okay.
Plus, we put some number in for the porta potties and the stage and the music and all that, but, we still don't have all the quotes on that, so, I
You're
think,
gonna have like security, is that first?
yep, we've got security in there, what else?
Sure, well, I'm sure like ambulances and that kind of that kind of stuff too for any kind of incidental.
Yeah, well, of course, like the fire department always is involved in that, but EMS, I don't know if we have to pay them to be there, but,
I would
that's,
love
It may be
to,
I
required.
would say we did.
I'm sorry.
I'd say it may be required, and
Yeah.
so that was, and I don't want to step on Dave here. I guess, and maybe you're going there next. Have you seen the artist's contract? So, meaning, does the artist require, what does the artist require? What size of stage, what size of sound system does the artist require? Because I've done some where the artist requires EMS, or events where they require EMS. What are the particulars?
Do you remember, Chris, that, yeah,
Some
so,
have a laundry list.
I think, so, it was my
Brown
understanding,
peanuts or M&Ms?
Yeah.
it was my understanding that, the contract was for 25,000, so I don't think, I can't even remember if it included a hotel room, but I imagined, we would save a hotel room for, I don't even think it's his full band either. I think it might be like him and a couple guys sort of thing. Yeah, so, but,
I would
yeah.
love to, on a side note, just offer my volunteer time to help you out with any type of checklist or anything that I have that you guys can.
We were chomping at the bit for
I've been
you to
caught.
get back in town.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
there's
yeah.
lots of questions we have.
For
'cause-
sure.
And that's the other thing is we want to hire a promoter, so we've put a number in there for a promoter because we don't want to have to do that, so.
And one more question here. What percentage of the 15 to 2,500 attendees that you anticipate would be from like out of town?
That's so up in the air because, let's just say 50% of the parade route is tourists and, locals. And I would suggest maybe it's something in that range as well. It's hard to know how many people come to the parade and then are just going to go back to their camper out on the Palisades or whatever. But we're hoping that if we have enough events here to keep them here, that we'll keep them. Who knows? A free concert with an up and coming, country artist. Maybe we have 5,000. I don't know. It just kind of depends. It might be absolutely nuts if we get 5,000, but we'll take as many as we can get for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely more curious about the sponsorships that you're gonna try and go after. Are you going after just beer distributors, or you taking a chunk from your vendors? Like, what all goes in back into the pot? that
The
you're-
vendors at this point, are they going to pay for the other to be?
So.
Come on up, Chris. It's a-
I don't do this well.
Yeah, you're going to do great.
It just records,
It just
Yeah, it's
records,
just-
so watch what I
everyone's
say, is
listening,
that what
don't
you're
worry.
telling me?
so the people at home can hear you.
So they asked me to be part of this because I did the 4th of July this year. It was just supposed to be a small thing, and it turned out bigger than I thought it was. And I also do the Christmas craft fair, so I have a lead on all the vendors. And what I did this year is if they don't have some skin in the game as far as paying for their spot, they will not show up. So I charged very minimal for the one this summer, but pretty much everybody showed up except for a couple of food vendors, and we all know the weather wasn't the best. So yes, I'm gonna charge, but it's gonna depend on a whole bunch of other things, depending on, setup. But this year I only charged them $40 for the day to be there, and they were there Thursday and Friday. But where this year it's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I would probably charge more, but I haven't yet. And all that money will go back into wherever.
Offset cost.
To offset,
Okay.
The only people that I didn't charge were people that were helping me with, like, the scavenger hunt and all the other things we had. Their booth fees were free, so. But what I charged this year covered the advertising I had to do and all the prizes and stuff for the scavenger hunt, so.
And you've also talked to a lot of those vendors, and they've all said that they'd love to come back next year, right?
Yes, all the vendors that I had this year, including some that I have already booked for the Christmas craft fair this year, want to be here next year. And this year, we only had one food truck. I had one cancel, but I've already got 3 lined up for
Oh, cool.
the summer, so, or for the 4th of July, so.
Nice.
It's gonna
Kettle,
be,
kettle corn people.
Yeah,
They are always
yes, the hoagie wagon, the kettle corn people, the hot dog people, yeah, the corn dog, I guess.
seeing as though it happens on a Saturday, I think this year it's gonna be pretty big.
Huge,
It's gonna be
yeah.
big. Yeah.
Well, and that was the draw for the food vendors, was that it was 3 days. They can set up for the farmer's market and they can stay for 3 days, so that they were like all over it. They
Yeah.
wanted to do it, and that was part of the problem I had this year, was it was just Friday, and they didn't want to come all the way up here and set up for a few hours, and, so.
Okay.
What other
I
questions do
don't
you guys
any
have?
questions right now.
Let's see. Oh, has there been any discussion with the artist other than availability? and
Yes,
price?
they're available, and so that's another question I have for you guys. I know it says first reading, how many readings do you have to
Well,
make this happen?
that's what we're gonna kind of figure
Yeah.
out. We've passed things on second reading. We can go anywhere to third reading, for those who don't know, first, second, and third reading. Usually we'll pass things on second reading unless there's something else
Yep.
going on. I would say, for me, I'm really curious of just what is the artist's needs. So before we drop 25,000, is his stage a 10 by 10 or is it a 30 by 30 with scaffolding and lighting?
Yeah.
Is it going to cost us $10,000
Right.
for a stage, or is it going to cost us $40,000 for a stage and sound? So kind of just to see what the artist's needs are. And then also, any contingency plans of weather. Yeah, so like, is there opportunity of maybe turns into a, not cozy, what am I trying to think of, a intimate show in the Civic Center, or something like that, of where he'll still perform, but yeah, it's not gonna be outside, whatever contingency.
That's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
The weather's gonna be perfect.
It's good, it'll
Yeah,
be
I was-
perfect. It will be perfect.
As far as the weather goes, so I took place in Oktoberfest in
Afton,
Afton this
yeah.
year. It was terrible weather. It rained and snowed all day, but every time there was a band or a performer up on stage, there was more people in town than I've seen in a long time. The weather, they played, it was raining, it was snowing, the people were out line dancing and just having a good old time, so.
There's things like, if it's gonna be at the ball field, we could look at putting up a tent.
Right.
So if it did have some
Perfect.
inclement weather, something like that, we haven't gotten any bids on tents, but that's gonna be another kind of big ticket item.
Sure.
Of course, 4th of July for this semi-quincentennial, everyone that rents a tent already has one booked,
Exactly.
so it's,
And that'd be the other question is, have you guys reached out to Cobblestone, Bull Moose, all the hotels? Are they already booked?
they are not yet.
Okay.
And they are really asking us how many do they need to set aside for the dignitaries. And so we don't know that number yet, but, we're thinking about just getting a block at a couple hotels just to cover ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to add on weather is that, there's one thing having a show with the rain in, which, is doable, but there's another thing having a show during, a lightning storm or something like that,
Yeah.
which isn't doable, so, fortunately, lightning storms kind of come through pretty
Yeah.
fast on a regular basis here, not all the time, but, so maybe there would just be a delay or something like that if there was.
It's
one.
not going to be a problem.
But,
Steps.
I always plan shows and.
I control
hope for
the weather.
best. But,
It'd be beautiful.
Seen the wind get really western down there.
and, just
Really
as a
I still have the
curiosity, on the
scars.
25 grand, has that been like negotiated at all?
That's
or-
that's what it is.
Okay.
They
'Cause
told
sometimes
us
there's
that's
some
what it is.
negotiating power in those things.
Yeah.
so, trying to save every dollar we can for you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And, is it the 100% deposit, like, absolutely necessary, or can that be negotiated? 50%
Absolutely
out?
necessary. They won't let us pay 50% or anything, no. Because they said because we've never worked with that promoter, like, I don't know, they can't trust us. I mean, I don't know.
You're pretty shaky.
We are a municipality. It's like, we're good for the money, but anyways,
Yeah.
you don't know why.
Fair enough.
Show me the money.
Yeah.
I'm happy to pass this on first reading. I just want to know, like, again, what's the artist needs as far as stage and sound, EMS, security,
Yep.
yeah,
We-
brown M&Ms.
Yeah. We can find out all that stuff, and Sarah, I think, has that information just in general, because she was the one dealing directly with the promoter. So it might just be in the morning, we just need to ask her. We sent her home since she's been here all day. But, I think this is kind of the first domino to drop. If we get this, then we can just keep building, up the rest of the agenda for the 3 days essentially and start filling in. Of course, we've got Richard Petty to sign on, so we think that's pretty huge, and that should bring in a lot of people from the region. And we're using Top of the Rockies and all their connections with the car show already. So we anticipate it being, big event. So this would kind of be the culmination of everything, and we're super excited. Just live music down there. I've been scouting out where we would do it and everything, and it's pretty easy to pull the stage up right to the edge of the fence on the north side, and then that can essentially be the front row. And then we'll push the fireworks down just a little bit towards Melvin someplace, and then we should be good to go. But,
I'd love to, offer volunteer time to, meet together soon to work out, anything logistic-wise that, I
Absolutely.
could help with,
we actually, we have a meeting next Tuesday at 2:00, and we were hoping that you would come. So- No?
Somebody said today that Tuesday is a holiday, so.
Oh, it is, yeah, we are gonna push that out. We'll have to skip, or we might make it another day next week, but yeah, we'll make sure that you know when it is, Dave, because we want you to, we've been chomping at the bit for you to get back, so. I'm glad you-
no, I'd like to do whatever I can. to help.
I know this is time sensitive.
Yeah,
Does the board have an issue if, once we find these answers, to reschedule a meeting? Because our next scheduled meeting isn't until
For a while.
March, so it would be, I would presume, in the next 3 weeks,
Okay.
something like that.
Well, we need to do it pretty quick, right, to get this guy secured?
yeah, I mean, that's what
Fireworks meeting, whatever.
we're hoping we can get it done as soon as possible, just because if, he's gonna get booked with something else for sure. So they can only hold him for so long.
Cool, appreciate
So
it.
you guys will make yourself available?
Yep, I'm not going anywhere.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions from audience? All right. Hearing none, and we have a motion on the table. So all those in favor of passing on first reading the grant submission for the semi-quincentennial committee on behalf of the town of Alpine for the amount of $25,000, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. All right. And then, next on our report is from Star Valley Arts Council. I don't see Lexi here. Nope. Did you guys have a chance to read through that? Any questions? I don't know if you went to the 2 events from the Arts Council,
I
but,
did. Yep.
yeah.
I did,
no,
yeah.
Another solid event. I didn't have anything there. Let's see, next one is, well, why don't I go with those who I know are here? Front row, Jen, please, friend, FBT.
And I'm gonna bring a friend with me if you don't mind.
All right.
Yeah, no, thank you. Did you all get this?
I would take a copy.
Made copies and told
It's in
in our
there?
packet.
Is it? Okay.
just in case.
Oh, I don't know, that's what I was asking.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, perfect,
Emailed it.
Okay, perfect.
perfect.
Or whatever. But, Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Appreciate you sneaking us in. It was snowing on the way over through Hoback Canyon, so I'm crossing my fingers I don't go back and have slippy slideys through Pinedale. But thank you so much. Jennifer Recupero, Partnership Manager, Friends of the Bridger Teton. I have with me.
Awesome. I'm Margot Feingold. I'm the Programs Manager for Friends of the Bridger Teton, and I helped run this program.
Yes, Margot manages all of our ambassadors during the summer and winter season. So I wanted to bring her this time. She lives in Jackson, so you can all get to know her as well. So we're being able to find some space to be able to be more present. So thank you. First and foremost, I just want to take a moment and thank the Alpine Travel and Tourism Board, as well as the town of Alpine, Alpine Trails and Pathways, Mayor Green, and all the community members of Alpine for always supporting the Bridger Teton National Forest. It has been a troublesome year, but you have always been strong supporters of the natural resource, which might be the main reason why people choose to live here and or come here to visit. So I just want to say thank you all so much as community members, people in this room. I know how important it is when you come from a small town to take care of what you love to use, but it's not a requirement, so I just wanted to say thank you so much. It has meant a lot from Friends of the Bridger Teton and from the U.S. Forest Service, so thank you so much. In the packet, basic layout of some data points. We had one ambassador this year. He was based at Moose Flats Campground and then worked Grays River Road up all the way up to here, so he was from Moose Flats and up on Grays River Road. He started, and please come in anytime you want, okay? June, because I'll just keep talking, as you all know. So, and I'll be quick for everyone in the room also, because the numbers are there, so I don't really have to go through many of them, but I want to for the public to hear as well. But he worked June 1st through September 1st this year. He worked about 515 hours. The total cost was much lower than we had anticipated. I put down that funding, so we're at a difference of about $6,000 right now of what we had asked, meaning we're under budget. And the reason is because the budget we had put in with you all also included June 2026. So even though I'm reporting right now, it's just because I felt like it would be important, and I didn't want you waiting till then to hear how this season went. So that's why we're here. So thank you for seeing me. So there will still be an invoice coming in June 2026 for that work that gets done at that time. And we were only able to secure one ambassador this summer where we had proposed to have two. So we just had some complications with getting appropriate candidates. So we're hoping that that continues to build. I mean, we have a very robust program in other districts, and we're just really, really happy that you all gave us a chance this year to prove that we'd love to help supplement and complement Grays River Road safety, access, and recreating responsibly. So thank you so much for that opportunity. So some of the data that's there, Mike had clocked 700 vehicles. He made over 850 plus visitor contacts, so that's actually going and speaking to people, so just making conversation, where are you from, where are you here for, like, just remember there's, fire safety and some of those other tidbits, food storage information to prevent wildlife interactions that are negative. There was about 600 RVs now, and as we go down through the bottom, the number of food storage violations, so once again, Mike and our ambassadors for responsible recreation do not write tickets. We are not law enforcement in any way, shape, or form, but it's where he maybe approached someone that had left a whole bunch of food out at a campground or hanging out with their stuff out and not really around. So they would just go up and just make sure they're explaining that that's not a great way to keep wildlife or them safe. Number of unattended campfires was 4, so he extinguished 4 unattended campfires. So meaning like in fire pits that were left warm or burning, or other areas where he found stone rings created where that happens. Sometimes people just pull off.
Compared to other, that seems really low. I remember just hearing Jackson numbers.
Well, once again, 1 versus 36 ambassadors, so, and these right now, so he has a system, we have a system we pay for called Survey 123, which is on his phone, so it's a data platform. So every day he wrote a patrol. So one, I don't hate that that number is so low, because that means you guys are doing an amazing
Yeah,
job
I'm
of getting the
looking
word
at
out
that.
there.
Surprising.
No, that's
Yes.
what's surprising to me. I was like,
Yes.
wow, that's really good.
Yes, totally. And I think as we hopefully continue to be active in your area, we see that number stay low, but we know that we're there in case we need to be stepping in. So that's what's so cool about that. So we did have one group so far not so far, one group that was in a non-designated camping area that he would just approach. These are things that we're trying to save law enforcement from having to get involved with, which is a bonus, but all the other things, sort of search and rescue efforts, as well as just overall people maybe not understanding how to keep the resource as well as it possibly can be, and keep visitors as well as locals on a same common ground of kindness and communication versus violence and hatred. So that is one of the most important things that our ambassadors does, is that they're really a mitigator, because when they make that contact, they're not only giving recreate responsibly information, as you see down at the bottom here, but they're also giving local business referrals. So people are coming in maybe from out of town, and they're landing at this campground or coming through and saying, hey, can I ask you a quick question? Where's a great place to go grab for a burger, and things of that sort. So Mike was very involved with that, which is why we love our ambassador program, because not only do they help the U.S. Forest Service, but they also help the town, hopefully pushing people into the right places without them skirting away because they caught an eye to something else. So that's all down there. He had done weed removal, installed some solar lights. I mean, this year was a tough year, so anything that we could have Mike do through the U.S. Forest Service was amazing. So so these are the facts. The next 3 pages or so are the invoices that we have submitted for this season. So that is where the total comes from. I just wanted to make sure you all had a copy of those if you had any questions. So we had a very successful season, and it's because of you, and so we appreciate it, because this would have had to been a hard ask to try to find money to cover these people that do so much for us. We had hoped for 2, we got 1, better than 0, but we would love to, I just preempt my final report by saying we would love to maybe add 2 people, as we've seen now, and as we start to learn your area more, love to, in talking to all of it, Mayor Green and whatnot, and just the experience, having more people at the head of Grays River Road entrance. So 2 people maybe at Trailhead, we'd call it Trailhead, but at the front line there, that are sort of just there to answer questions. We call it Friends Forts. So it's been very successful. We're trying to bring it into all these areas. Right now, Mike was not able to do that, but we're hoping maybe next year, if we can, we'll propose to keep Mike on, which would be around the amount that we have on here, plus June 2026, and then maybe 2 extras. We would love to start providing some support for the bench, and maybe visitor services as well, which is another offering we do with these ambassadors. So they might work a Friends Fort for 2 days out of the week, and then a day of the week they're centered in town, either at a visitor center, which I don't think you all still have. Do you sit, right, okay, that was my understanding. But maybe the Civic Center, at a farmer's market, dedicated every single time they're there, and they're giving the Smokey Bear message, the free swag, all that stuff, which we've been thankful this year we were able to come to the farmer's market and have a booth, so we appreciate that also. And I had 2 interns with me from University of Wyoming who had never been to Alpine. One was from Nebraska and one was from Pennsylvania, and they're studying Wyoming outdoor recreation, travel, and hospitality. So we're hoping to have 2 more next summer. So I'm going to continue to keep bringing people into your area if you will let me, because we would love to keep the Bridger Teton National Forest really well here, and we know population increase is going to happen.
And then just if anyone's wondering, this grant falls on the impacts of tourism. So that's where we reserve the 40%, and it goes to. You guys have?
No, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Just a couple of things, very minor. I got some feedback on the receipt for FBT admin fee. I know what that is. We call it a cost, or it was just kind of the fee. What was it? Again, minuscule. What I really want to know is, would the ambassador want to come back? I know there was some challenges further south. I'm hoping there wasn't those challenges out of Alpine.
No, Mike, actually, this is your first time funding us, but Mike has been here this is maybe his third or fourth season with us.
Okay.
It's a really good fit for him. He loves Moose Flats, so I would be surprised if he doesn't want to come back for this season. He loves being up in this area. And we're hoping to be able to lean on him a little bit to help train up some of these other ambassadors that we hope to have in this area next season.
He was originally a full volunteer, so zero pay. Then US Forest Service came around some extra money, so we put him in for year 2 and 3, and then that money was gone, which is why we thought to come to you and just ask for your support to keep this program running.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a wonderful man. Did any of you get to meet him?
I did not.
Oh, wonderful. Well, like I said, we're hoping to get people more front and center. Mike does an amazing job, but sometimes it's just some people are extroverted and some people are not so much. So we're hoping to keep adding those personalities to match what might be needed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then, as always, open application, January 1 to March 15.
Amazing. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good winter season. Woohoo!
Duke, I see you made it. Thank you, sir.
You Duke. Good. How are you?
All right, I'm Duke Dance with SVI Media, and we've been doing a lot of promotion for the town of Alpine through our various platforms, digital or sports advertising, social media, and geofencing. So we'll just kind of go down the list, and these are just some of the analytics from June when our current contract began and to the present. So SVInews.com and SVIalpine.com, those are just giving you an idea of how many impressions that your Visit Alpine ads have received over those few months. So 67,000 plus. The click rate on our own personal websites is quite high, over 5,000 clicks. And so that means someone sees the ad, they click the ad, takes them to your specific website for whatever event we happen to be promoting at the time. So
Is there an industry ratio standard?
a lot of our geofencing, the national average is 0.06% is the national average. I did not do the math on that, but it's going to be higher, a little higher than that. Let me do it real quick, but yeah, 5,000 clicks on 60,000 impressions is quite good. And a lot of that is because it's from a local website. The ads are bigger, more prominent. They typically look a lot better than a Google AdSense ad does, and so people are more inclined to click on them.
7%.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. Star Valley High School sports, so obviously that started end of August, and we're just kind of wrapping things up. We got volleyball tonight, football tomorrow. So these numbers are just for the fall season, and I didn't get that number on your sheet because we were still tracking some things down, but I got it now. So since the first football game to the most recent broadcast, 549,000 views on our sports. The second number is the peak views. That's the most views we had on one single broadcast, and that was Star Valley at Cody, the 72,000. So that was just live views for one game, which that one happened to be a record for us. So that was kind of cool.
And I'm sorry, and were we doing banners on that? Or were
So
we-
those are actual commercials. Yep, those are the 30-second commercials that air during timeouts,
Yep.
breaks in the game, that kind of thing. The cool thing about that is you're getting the best of both worlds with the local and the regional reach. So obviously we get a lot of views from inside the valley locally, but 72,000 is a few more people than we have here,
Yeah,
right?
just a couple.
So, so we get a lot from eastern Utah, eastern Idaho, northern Utah, and western Wyoming. Kind of that region's the bread and butter of the views. But after that, they really go all over the nation. For one specific game, we had over 20,000 in Texas. So it just kind of depends on the game, and for whatever reason, we've had one game. We had a whole bunch from Vermont. So it's cool because those people are seeing your commercial both in the region, locally, and all over the nation. So that's been going really well. And then, of course, that continues into basketball and wrestling in the winter sports. So social media was new to the package this year. So we created the Visit Alpine on Instagram and Facebook. And these are just some of the numbers from over the summertime with some of the events we promoted on social media. So Reggae in the Rockies. We had a sponsored ad that had almost 30,000 views, and most of those we targeted eastern Idaho, northern Utah, and then western Wyoming, Teton County, and around this region. 468 link clicks. And so the way we set that one up is we were trying to push ticket sales for that one, obviously. So the ad said, click here for tickets. And so almost 500 people clicked the ticket link. How many people bought the tickets after that? There's no way of really knowing unless we were to set something up on your end of your website. But that's how many people we sent to your website to purchase tickets. Music in the Mountains, very similar situation, had over 13,000 views. That was set up a little bit different since there were no tickets for that one. So we set it up as just a Facebook event. And so are you going to respond to the event? You attending, maybe, that type of thing on Facebook. And 70 people responded to the event through the ad that we ran. So pretty good numbers from social media. Currently, those are just numbers from the events that we sponsored or that we promoted. We haven't promoted an event since Music in the Mountains. The social media that we've been doing has been more generic, hunting, Visit Alpine for the fall, just kind of more generic. So don't really have as many click type data for something like that. Geofencing, this is just the last 3 months. You're getting all the impressions you're paying for, over 300,000 impressions. You're paying for 100,000 monthly, so you get that in 3 months. The average click-through rate has been about 0.08%. That's the number I like to see a little higher. It's still above the national average, but when you look at it, Reggae in the Rockies, it was 0.12, Music in the Mountains was 0.12, and so that's what we found over the last 2 to 3 years. This has been pretty consistent. When we promote a specific event, the clicks are a lot higher than if it's just a generic come hunt here type thing. So I think moving forward, maybe we'll try and micro target the message a little more. Even if there's not an event coming up, maybe we be more specific with, instead of just doing a generic winter message, maybe we do 1 month where it's specific to snowmobiling. We do another month that's specific to ice fishing. And kind of go through those type of things and micro target the message a little more if there's not an event. So, because I think the next event would be February, the winter
Jubilee?
The Jubilee, right? Yeah.
January.
Into January, the Jubilee. So, and we can start promoting that now. It might be a little early. So,
And the Coney will also be that weekend.
yeah. Okay. Perfect. And then just some more data on the next couple of pages with geofencing. You can see that we've been focusing a lot of that along the Wasatch Front, basically Point of the Mountain north in Utah, clear up into the Idaho border, Cache Valley area. So the bulk of those impressions are coming from Salt Lake City zip codes or the Salt Lake Valley. What you see on the sheet are just the top 5, but the map above shows you where all those are coming from with those impressions geofencing wise. And then the next page are just a little more information as far as where people are seeing the ads. So Smart News is an app. A lot of impressions going there. Fox News, Yahoo, KSL is usually up there, especially where we're targeting the Wasatch Front. And then below that, some of the targeting elements, obviously, depending on the event, determines who we're targeting, not just geographically, but their interests and where they're going. But outdoors, hiking, outdoor enthusiasts, boating, those types of things. When it was the concerts, we were doing more people interested in the concerts and festivals and those types of things. So that's kind of where things are at. I feel like things are going really well as far as the response to what we're doing. I think the only thing we feel like we're going to tweak is just try and micro target the message a little bit more instead of doing a generic seasonal type ad. Mm-hmm. So when we get into winter, we'll probably lean more that way.
Good idea.
Nice.
You guys have anything for Duke?
Could even promote July 4th here next year.
Yep. So for the sesquicentennial
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, we can make a big deal about that.
I'm curious, just kind of thinking about the geofencing, can you guys do a reverse geofencing, meaning we set the geofence up for Alpine, say, throughout the summer or even all next year, and find out, okay, we're getting, X amount percentage from the Wasatch Front, Y from Colorado, so we can start really, figuring out who our target is, who is visiting, and then, thinking on a long-term plan, and then say 2 years, that we go, okay, now we really know that, we got 37% of our visitors are coming from northern Utah
Yeah.
or from whatever the Colorado Front Range is called, Front Range.
Yeah.
And then we can start to target that way. Is that?
I'll check on that. I know we can retarget people that enter the geofence. So if they attended reggae last year, then we can retarget them again the next year. Whether we can get data on the people that came, I'll check into that. I'm not sure if that's something they provide or not.
Gotcha.
I'll find that out.
Yeah, basically just setting up a geofence for Alpine.
Right.
And then getting that
Seeing
data,
where they're being in.
like, okay, these people are from, whatever state, enter state name, city name here.
Okay. Yeah, I will get back with you on that one.
And then I can't remember what we talked about last week at the Civic Center. Duke and SVI were offering was it 50% for attendees?
Yes.
I said, hey, I'm here. Can we get a 50% deal
right.
for travel and tourism? I can't remember, just can't remember if it was just a banner ad or more targeted.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I'll put it this way. We have a little bit of the data here. What would you recommend that you could put together in a 50 off package that we could approve tonight that saves us money going into the winter or to?
Yeah, I think if we wanted to focus on two events, the Jubilee and the sesquicentennial, if you wanted to do some additional geofencing and social media for those two specific events, and maybe expand your reach more into Idaho Falls and some of the other places, because the thing about focusing so much on Utah is there's just so many people there that if we went into Idaho Falls right now, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. So if we had more impressions, then we could get into eastern Idaho, and we could basically go from the border all the way up into Rexburg, I think, even into Twin Falls a little bit. So that would be my recommendation if you wanted to do something a little extra for those two specific events. Then yeah, we could maybe go there. So if you wanted to do, let's just shooting off the cuff here, if you wanted to do another 500,000 impressions of geofencing, that's $5,000. The 50% discount does get a little tricky there because we still have to pay our third party that places them, and they're probably not going to offer the same 50% discount that we are. So we might have to look at that a little bit. But that'd be, $5,000 to get those 500,000 impressions into Utah. Similar with social media, I think if you did another couple grand in social, we can make a big impact. That would be my recommendation. Because again, if we're focusing on the specific event, that's where we're getting the best response.
My thought would be Winter Jubilee, because I'm betting we'll have a bigger package for the semi whatever.
Yeah, the 250.
Yeah. But Winter Jubilee and like President's Weekend, because those are kind of two. One, we don't mind people, and two, President's Weekend if we're here,
Yeah.
or if we don't want to see people, we're leaving. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I like the idea of, obviously this is a snowmobile destination, I kind of like the idea of, I don't know how many people come up here to ice fish necessarily, but I think snowmobiling is a Calm destination.
That's what it was. I was remembering the Utah marketing. So years ago, Utah Travel and Tourism purchased billboard space on I-70 for visitors flying into Denver and going skiing. And the billboard said, if you were in Utah, you'd be skiing by now. And so, but I don't know how, like if they put in Ashton or something, like if you were in Alpine, you'd be snowmobiling right now. Something like
Yeah.
Or it could be like a combo thing, like, snowmobiling, ice fishing, cross-country skiing,
You'd be outside.
Yeah, you'd be playing outside.
You'd be
right
playing
now.
in the
You'd be
snow.
playing-
Yeah.
That's, I like that. You'd be playing outside by now. Why don't you, let me, can I get a motion, for approval of, SVI grant, for up to, $5,000 with a 50% off, so it'd equal $2,500, right? Correct?
Yeah, and again, if we're doing we'd have to do, if we're gonna go geofencing, we would have to do 50% off our net.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go back and crunch some of those numbers, because it's where we're using a third party there.
Right. And that's what you've kind of tracked best
Correct.
from what the net that we've thrown.
Yeah. If you want to do a motion for $2,500, then maybe I could put together a package on what I could give you for that,
Great.
up to a $5,000 value. If that sounds, is that kind of what you're
Yeah.
looking for?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
perfect.
Would we,
Okay.
would we, push this to a second reading then?
Yeah, we could do it with the town's second reading.
Right,
Yep.
okay, sounds good to me.
So
A
moved.
motion to, approve, $2,500 budget for, geofencing and, what was the rest of it? I'm sorry.
It was.
Social
to-
media.
To hire SVI to
To
do
hire SVI to do.
$2,500 up to $5,000 of a geofencing marketing campaign for Winter Jubilee and President's Weekend. Yeah.
Motion to approve $2,500 for SVI Media to do social media, marketing, geofencing, and for President's Day weekend and another event during the winter season.
First and a second? That sound good to you, Duke?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put that together.
So the town has an application in for the 250, and we requested some more information from them. I expect that they'll have it within a week or two.
Sure.
And then we're gonna meet back, and then we'll reach out to you as well.
Okay.
For that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I can put this together in a couple of days and get it to you by next week.
Awesome. All in favor of said motion?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that was easy. Anything else, Duke?
Just a side note on the billing, we did make a mistake when we billed you. Our social media went to the town of Alpine and not the tourism board. So the tourism board paid everything you were billed, but then there was that extra couple grand. Did that get taken care of? Okay, perfect. Yeah, that was what happened. We sent it to the town, and then the town didn't, for some reason, they didn't want to pay it. I don't know why, so, yeah. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for all your work, Duke, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Thank you. All right, Dave, I think you got a couple coming up here.
Yeah, you want me to do fire department?
Yeah. And then, you guys are here, I don't know, now it's kind of business as usual. If you guys have something to say or questions or anything, or just want to see how the sausage is made, by all means.
Well, yeah, we kind of, so Sam Cook, I know a few faces here.
See, we speak in the, thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
No, it's fine.
I just don't want, like,
Better this way.
I'm tall, so I'll adjust this a little bit. But yeah, Sam Cook, lived in Alpine since 2016, and my friend Paul Levold here. We kind of wanted to come and just kind of learn a bit more about your process. We've kind of looked through the grant guidelines, the bylaws, and all the documents on the travel and tourism page, and we wanted to come in and kind of see if there was some opportunities for a grant idea we had. If this is the time that you want to dive into it, that works for
Does
us.
that work for you guys?
Yeah, well, we can
Yeah,
do a quick
absolutely.
synopsis of what
Yeah.
you're kind of thinking.
Okay, so we do have a filled out application as well as kind of some other supporting documents. And I guess we're kind of going about it this way because we didn't really necessarily know exactly, I've never been to one of these meetings before. Reading through everything online can be a little daunting, but, so we put together a proposal. So there should be 5 copies of deliverables and then the proposal kind of marketing plan. And so we kind of are, it seems like in a way we'd be piggybacking off what SVI is kind of currently doing for the Travel and Tourism Board. But our focus is more of kind of the blinders on social media content creation.
Okay.
And so Paul and I, a little background on us, we've both lived in Alpine now for over 15 years combined. We have over 15 years of combined professional photo and video experience. I've done some work with Red Bull Media House, Natural Selection Tour, and done some commercial photo and video campaigns for outdoor brands like Skidoo and Polaris. Paul has done some work with Trout Unlimited, Jackson Hole Historical Museum, and a handful of local businesses throughout the region as well. And so we feel like we could focus on content creation for the Travel and Tourism Board that builds a more cohesive brand image across all platforms, with a specific focus on local businesses, the outdoors, surrounding attractions. By using kind of creative imagery and consistent branding, we could capture interest and attract visitors for the benefit of Alpine Travel and Tourism. And again, kind of going back to the SVI's presence already and the work they're doing, we just feel like our authentic imagery and storytelling and more focus on that content itself would just help attract a broader, more national kind of audience and get them interested in Alpine and eventually here visiting. So that's kind of our basic proposal, our idea. And then we do have some deliverables, and I don't know if everyone got one of those forms. Sweet. Paul, is there anything you want to mention before we kind of dive in on some of those deliverables, or?
No, I think you nailed it.
Okay.
We'll roll through some of the deliverables. If you guys have questions, feel free at any time to kind of hit us with whatever you're thinking.
Yeah. And sorry, are there any questions? Sorry.
No, I mean, I'd have to go through, you guys.
Not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so far.
Okay, cool. So, kind of social media, we really think between Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, those would be the focus that we could bring the content to, and not necessarily focusing a ton on saying we need to boost posts, but just that organic reach that you can create through these social pages. Paul and I have both done quite a bit of that for our own personal brands and businesses. But I think the town it'd be perfect to be able to collaborate, so to speak, with local businesses using their channels as well to kind of create that collaboration and cross-posting potential. So we kind of have this broken into a monthly social media post, 2 business spotlights, roughly a minute each. This would be pretty beneficial to help push onto a Visit Alpine YouTube page, kind of more long-form content, but YouTube is one of the biggest search engines out there right now. And then the next one would be 4 original content posts, kind of with an Instagram and Facebook focus. Instagram's always changing. It seems like you can never really keep up with the trends, but currently, if you can do carousels, which are multiple posts or multiple photos, reels, it's always kind of like what's trending, what's working there, and just kind of creating that kind of like post-specific best kind of post or best approach style with is it a carousel? Is it going to be a reel? And those are going to be more your Instagram and Facebook focus. And then we want to look at event coverage. So if the Winter Jubilee, could we do a video and then a recap, like a video during the event, and then post that as a recap of like, here's how it looked, here's how it was attended. And then we can put that long form content on YouTube and then chop up little bits and pieces and put that onto Instagram and Facebook as more kind of attention grabbing posts.
Also use that same content for like next year as far as like re-promoting these events if they do end up happening again. So it's a good way to just kind of get some extended use kind of out of that content that's
So
created.
it's for a month, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And then obviously coverage of an event, right? You got to have an event that month, but it seems like the town's pretty scheduled out to kind of meet that like once a month event situation.
We can work with you guys as far as like which might bring in like the most amount of people or might have like the most valuable, like eyeballs and the most valuable reach. Like for instance, like 4th of July next year, there's, X amount of dollars that are going to be spent for like a big act. We'll do, a lot of like content kind of based around that.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then just kind of, our professional skills that we've developed, capturing, editing, and delivering this content, and then being able to have those monthly performance analytics across all channels. I think it's the town of Alpine, or travel and tourism of Alpine is situated nicely because there's not much that's already been done. So starting these channels now, especially like a YouTube page, like a standalone Visit Alpine, from here on moving forward, like all those metrics are going to be from day one, which will be nice to see and easy to track. And then we've kind of mentioned like the tagline campaign, like I think Jackson has Stay Wild, just those catchphrases, right, that kind of make people remember like, oh, Alpine, insert catchphrase kind of situation. And then you can kind of use that in your cross posting. You guys know all about that, right? So yeah, and then we have add-ons where we can, and kind of going like what Paul mentioned with a bigger event, if we want to focus more on one event and really drill down, make a longer video, do more like behind the scenes or do more who's involved, interview style things, like we can work on that. Another idea we kind of thought of was Alpine PSAs. If there's a travel and tourism situation where we want to say recreate responsibly in the outdoors, campfire dead out kind of thing, a video series like that to kind of be informative, but also draw eyeballs for visitors as well. And then we can kind of drill into boosting content and seeing what that looks like.
So you'd be creating the content as well as posting the content, correct? Okay.
Creating new, not the town Facebook, a Visit Alpine Facebook.
Yeah.
Correct.
The town can share.
Yeah, so when you look at like Visit Alpine, it's kind of like a brand, like a travel and tourism brand. It's separate from just like the town, right?
Right.
Creating these channels to promote specifically tourism, via a website, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Kind of like, the only thing I can think of is in Victor's Fisher Creative. I don't know.
Heard of them, yeah.
Okay, so but similar, he's done stuff for Victor Driggs, and other companies, but similar content creation and stuff like that.
And does the 4,500 include the expenses for like posts and boosted posts and so on?
Not boosted posts, so we'd have to discuss like a separate add-on plan for that, but video production and photo production is very expensive. I mean, cameras are crazy expensive. You have the software. I mean, we fly FPV drones, cinema drones. We have cinema cameras.
Cool. And then are we able to pick the months that we'd be able to do this, or would this have to be like every month?
So every month would be the most ideal because you have the consistency of like that high quality content being delivered, and it's very like cohesive as far as a brand looks. But we can definitely collaborate on which months we might want to. Let's say we skip a month for an event. Maybe it's like we have 2 events the next month. So we can be creative and collaborative in kind of that aspect, but.
So I was thinking maybe like the off seasons, we don't really need to
Yeah,
be promoting, but maybe go
Get some
heavier
content
in the
creation with
other.
mud boots and,
it's true, it's true.
you know,
Yeah.
ripping donuts on the lake
Yeah,
flats.
all right, now we're talking.
I mean, come on. There's something going
Stay
on
live.
every month.
So basically you'd be asking for like 54K a year for 12 months
Yes.
of coverage. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
So open, if you looked at the website, open enrollment is, and maybe, I've heard me tell Shay, is January 1 to March 15. And then we run on the fiscal calendar of the same as the town, so July 1 to June 31st. So the process is open enrollment, and then we have our first meeting either end of March, 1st of April, and then we do 3 readings. Most of the time, things will get passed on second reading if all questions are answered. It's rare it goes to a third reading. For this, especially with the cost, I mean, personally, I've been waiting for somebody to approach us for exactly kind of this, of creating, you know, basically branding Alpine. Because as you heard me read the state statute, you know, that's exactly what these funds to go to. I'll give Melody, if you want to, we can give Melody the application now. If you want to expand on it, then just drop it off to her. And then we'll reach out in March or April for that first meeting. And so basically, we take all the applications, and we're, when we announce the grants, it's for next year's fiscal year, so 26, 27 fiscal year, and starting July 1st. Does that work?
Is there an opportunity to use this as kind of a first reading and maybe get you additional information as far as like content goes in the form of like video reels that, you know, we've both personally worked on, and then some of the photography content that we've produced as well, and then we can submit that to you guys as far as like a pitch deck goes, and maybe we get a second reading along with the town and the other event that you guys are going to have kind of
Gotcha.
sped up.
Normally, yeah, where, and I'll let the board decide on this, where my apprehension is the cost. You know, because with the SVI, $2,500, that's, we know we have it in our budget, and that's pretty easy. But for 54,000 or 4,500 even each month, I want to kind of, I would rather, and I think you'd be more successful, is pitching it as a full year platform, and a full year, like, here's what we think your branding message is, here's what we can do for you, here's the sites that, what we've done for Red Bull or for whomever, and this is what we propose for you guys. And then that way, because I also know, as well as you heard the town, they're coming to us for the 250 for up to $90,000. And the reason it's only on special occasions that we take applications. One being the 50% off, wanted to take advantage of that, and then 2, the town wanting it because they had to do a deposit ASAP for next year. And the reason why I have it open enrollment January through March is so everybody can bring their projects or their events or everything, and then everybody has kind of an equal playing field, so we can kind of divvy out
Divvy the money.
funds, yeah. However,
What do we have on average? Like, what did we bring in for 25? Do we have that number?
well, so our current balance,
I mean, current balance is, what, 204, right?
204,
But that,
but that'll, you know, our bread and butter is June, July, and August.
but what are we bringing in, like 125 a year or something right now? Or?
It's, we don't know yet because we just annexed in Flying Saddle and.
Right.
and,
Or do you know what we brought in
RV.
for 25 year to date, or?
So year to date,
The beginning balance was 319,000 on July 1.
but that's total, that's not
Yeah, that's
year to
from
date.
everything.
No, we had it.
I guess, it really doesn't matter. I guess I have to add on that part is like, let's say we get 125 grand a year or 150 grand a year, hypothetical number.
Right.
Are we gonna put 54 of that towards
A
this?
third of that, yeah.
And I really like this, so don't let me sound negative here because I think this is a really good thing, but, that's all the things that we gotta consider as a board,
Yeah.
when we make the decisions.
And I totally, like, when I said this is kind of what I've been waiting for, it really is. But also for me personally, like, I set this up for an even playing field ideally, except for special concessions. And at 54, I want everybody to have the even playing field, and I want to see what we're going to get. It has, so this will be year 3 that we've taken it, yeah. And in the past years, as of now, I would say there's room for this. We
We awarded 223,000.
Last year.
go-round.
Yeah.
We started with a lump sum, basically,
We
which
started
is
with, yeah.
diminishing slowly.
Yep. So we started with the lump sum. It's diminishing slowly, but we've also brought on other users.
Yeah.
So as it plays out right now, I would say for the 26, 27 budget, it looks very good.
Sure.
But again, if you guys want to make that motion, that's up to you.
Motion to what?
If we want to try a first reading of funding now versus the open enrollment application.
Oh, yeah, I think we should go to open enrollment, and
Yeah, I
just when
do
you put in
too.
your application, just keep in mind when you ask for the funds that, hey, we've got a limited amount that we gotta divvy out between all these different grants and so on, and, as much as this sounds like a great idea, just keep that in mind, just so we have, all the information in front of us and we can, try to approve this.
Sure. Yeah, and I think kind of our approach to tonight was we saw the bullet 10 in the bylaws that just said, reserve the right to accept applications
Right.
outside.
Yep.
Because we did see the open enrollment window, and
Yep.
and I think our kind of thinking was like, winter's coming,
Right.
snowmobiling's happening soon. The sooner we could start kind of pumping content, the better,
Yeah.
right? So that was kind of our focus on that. I guess if like just hypothetically, if you were to say this was a first reading approval, we'll call it that, it would still go until the end of the fiscal year, correct? So it wouldn't be a full year from now, it would go until June.
It would be this, any approval now is this year's fiscal year. So meaning it would end through July, or June 31st.
Right.
31st, 30th.
Sure. So then, when that ends, we would be enrolling again January 1st.
Right, for the July 1 to June 30th, 26,
So there's
27.
potentially like a window where you're not providing
There,
any
there potentially,
service.
so
in a way?
like, so when applicants come, and I'll like look over this, and if I see that gap, I'll say, so like when FBT came to us, they came to us last year during the open enrollment period, but they had ambassadors starting June 1. And I'm like, well, June 1 is actually this fiscal year. So that was a special case where we said, okay, we have it in the budget, we'll do this year's fiscal year. And then, I don't know if you heard her say, there's 6,000 and change still remaining, and that's because I told her, remember, it's gonna be for next year as well, so think of that full fiscal year. So that's why they still have a remaining balance, because they're gonna have another ambassador come June 1 and go through the summertime. Does that make sense? I know it's kind of,
It's weird.
it's fuzzy math.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you, but, so if I see a project that I know that it's gonna be like, okay, planning, and think ahead, like with, any winter, so the Winter Jubilee, Alpine Trails and Pathways for their winter cross-country grooming, was all done last year for this winter.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You said you were really excited about like this idea and like just kind of seeing somebody come to the table with like content creation. Was there a number that made you excited to move forward, or was there?
No,
It's
I just,
kinda like a- like-
no,
like
it's just
the
more
idea.
of like, you know, being in this, it's like, I felt that it was coming. I didn't know, that that's what, I mean, I know who Sam is, but I didn't know that's what you did. I just figured that eventually somebody, because, I mean, we live where we live, so
Yeah.
eventually some content creator would come to this board and want to put branding together, a marketing plan together, and then content creation to meld all three. And that's, you know, because I've seen it with other travel and tourism boards, and it makes sense. And that's why I say, like, you know, this is what, you know, this is really part of what these funds are for, is a program such as this. And I know, I also sit on the county's travel and tourism board, and that's one thing we're working on right now, is how much the county's funds is going to go to marketing and branding versus just general grants for events. And I think the county will be maybe, I don't even know what, it'll be a combination of both. So that'd be another thing to think about is, once that's up and running, I'd definitely say approach the county as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I'm not, might not be speaking for the other board members here, but, you know, when we have a limited amount of funds on an annual basis to distribute, you know, and you bring something, you know, I think that brings a lot of value to the table. You know, maybe it's something that we kind of just take, you know, I don't know if the right word is baby steps towards, but, you know, maybe half that budget would be something that might be easier to consider. And as we see the content, and I've seen some of your content online, I think it's great, you know. So, but you know, maybe that's something we would consider more, and then you know, get the feedback and from how that did, and then you know, who knows, maybe the lodging tax gets pushed to 2% next year, and we have more funding, and we can kind of increase that over time. Who knows, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's gonna go one way or the other.
Yeah, right.
Can we put something together for you guys that's maybe a smaller chunk to bite off and maybe be considered as far as like early submission goes and early opportunity?
Like you know, doing another one pre this year, you know, pre next year.
Yeah, something to fit on this year's fiscal calendar.
Correct.
Gotcha.
I mean, I would entertain a discussion with the board members on whether this is gonna be a normal thing that we're gonna be,
Right.
you know, doing these
Yeah, I agree.
approvals, you know?
Yep.
I think, you know, we should maybe make a motion to have a second reading on this and maybe, you know, have those discussions whether, you know, we should, be doing like some off-cycle approvals like
Right.
this, you know, on a regular basis.
Well, and that's what we changed, last spring,
Yeah,
is to open that up to just that.
yep.
So that's why I say, if you guys want to make a motion for, something smaller, a taste, or whatever you want for a second reading, it's up to you guys.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll make a motion to approve a second reading, for, what was the name of the company?
Right now, we're just kind of working together as individual LLC owners, but we want to start a consolidated single LLC as we move forward. So
Okay,
just Sam Cook and Paul Lavold.
okay, and what was the other name, I'm sorry?
Paul Lavold.
Paul Laval?
Yep.
Okay, motion to have a second reading for, company with Sam Cook and Paul Laval, to, entertain the idea of, $25,000 towards, social media content, sorry, I don't have the thing in front of me anymore. Here we go. For creative content for outdoor activities, natural surroundings, local businesses and events.
I'll second that.
All right, first and a second. So then we will let you, I'll give this to Melody. This has all your contact on there.
Yes, the application does. I believe I gave you the application.
Yep. We got Sam's, there's Paul's, okay. So I'll give this to Melody, because we don't know when we're gonna meet like you've heard, it's either in the next couple, 3 weeks. I'll give us Melody, and then she'll reach out to you when we do meet, and then come back again.
Okay.
And maybe in the meantime, for that dollar figure, you can put together what you guys are capable of, and then we can kind of, reassess at that time whether.
You said what was that dollar figure?
I think we're at what, 25,000?
25,000.
Yeah.
The big events in that 6-month period is Jubilee and Town Day.
Write those down too.
Yeah, and so that'll be focusing like to June.
Correct.
Correct.
Yep,
Jubilee and Mountain Days.
correct.
And then we have smaller things like Easter and spring cleanup.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Connie Classic, oh, that's on.
That's Jubilee now, the last one. for now.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Yep,
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, we will take that number into consideration and kind of rebuild the plan,
Okay.
and then you'll reach out on the next meeting, and then we'll bring our new plan and go from there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool,
thank you
thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Looks
Yeah.
good.
Appreciate it very much.
So, the motion on the table, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You up for Alpine Fire District?
Yeah.
Did you have something, sir? Did you want to? No, just climb the wall. Okay, cool.
Thanks again. Might be in there, so. Yeah, definitely, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Here's this.
So Dave Walters here representing the Alpine Fire District. Alpine Fire District applied for a grant for 2 radios and 1 fire blanket for electric vehicle fires. And the tourism board was kind enough to approve the grant. We have purchased those items and have put them into use, and they're other than the fire blanket, it hasn't been used yet, but with the increase obviously in electric vehicles and so on, I anticipate that's going to be a good item to have in our arsenal. But we basically, we just want to thank the support that the tourism board has given to the Alpine Fire District to get these necessary items for our community, as we always struggle with constricting budgets and increasing costs on these items. So thank you very much for that, and we look forward to serving the community even better in the future.
Yeah. And then again, this grant fell on the impacts of tourism section of our division of funds. And I would assume that you guys are eagerly ready to put together another application for the 26-27 fiscal year.
Yeah. Chief and I can definitely, or have to definitely discuss some items that are, coming up. We have a second station being built in Nordic Ranches currently, and the ground just broke on that. So obviously we're gonna not only need some more apparatus for that station, but tools and radios and everything that we're gonna need to supply those apparatus to the NFPA standards. So.
Yeah, no, talked to Mike and he was telling me about it, and I saw it yesterday. I was like, wow, it's coming to fruition. That's
Yeah, we're expecting to have it finished by the end of the year, I guess, so, or at least January, so, it's gonna come along pretty quick, so. It'll be nice, because, a lot of our volunteers, including myself, live down in that area, and when there's a car accident or a fire down in that area, it's always, disappointing when I gotta come all the way to
All the way in
Alpine,
and then go back.
grab what we need, and then, I'm almost like, sometimes I've passed a fire before, just to go grab some apparatus to bring back, so, at least we'll be able to have much faster response times now for those areas in the district that, are further away from the station, so.
Yeah, no, it's great. Anything else for Dave on this? Thanks, Dave.
Cool, yeah.
Next,
Yeah.
Switch hats here?
switch hats.
All right. right, Dave Walters here for Gray Bear Productions. Final report on Reggae in the Rockies, which was this past September 5th and 6th at the Alpine 4-H camp. Just a recap of the event, we had a 2-day music festival featuring some nationally renowned reggae rock artists playing at the 4-H camp. It included 10 professionally produced music sets on multiple stages, set up in an outdoor and indoor areas, and offered on-site food, drinks, vendors, and we did offer on-site camping, which was a huge hit. Number of attendees. The attendees exceeded our goals of 1,000 on the first night and 250 on the second night. Actual attendance, tickets sold was 1,273 tickets for night 1 and 259 tickets sold for night 2. This was a mix of local residents, regional visitors, and attendees from such places as Florida, the East Coast, West Coast, the Southwest, who flew in and, for the event. And I did provide a breakdown of where our attendees came from. As you can see, kind of like local, regional attendees was 58% of the attendees, and more national areas, and you can see all the different states there, including Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Montana, Texas, Utah, Washington, Wisconsin, Wyoming, and some others, was 42%. So, you know, we definitely brought in quite a few people from other states, which is kind of, you know, what we're looking for, to get people into town, getting hotel rooms, you know, buying gas, buying groceries, going to our local restaurants. And even the 58% that we got from regionally here, you know, when you talk in places like Victor, Driggs, Pinedale, Pocatello, Rexburg, and Idaho Falls, you know, those are still people that are coming into town, staying here, most likely, you know, visiting the restaurants, the gas stations, the retail stores, you know. So, you know, I think it was really great to see that high of a percentage of people from out of town, you know. So
Yeah, that's great.
we did some great, you know, marketing, national marketing. SVI Media did some stuff for us, you know, in the Wasatch Front and Eastern Idaho. So
I really dig the posters.
Yeah, the posters are cool. Posters are always cool, though.
Yep, so those were our art that we had created from our artist, and it worked, you know, they came out really, really great. So we did attach the art documentation on there. And these were posters also that we put up in numerous places. You know, we had, you know, what we call like street teams out in Salt Lake City area putting up these posters in venues and areas that people frequent. We had people in Idaho Falls putting them up. Obviously, we had a crew in Jackson in that area, and I think we even had like Victor Driggs, you know, putting up posters in, you know, gas stations, bars, restaurants, and so on, you know, so just spreading the word. Tourism was created due, like I said, to the media campaign and advertising across the U.S. to create awareness about the event. Hundreds of guests came in from road, local hotels, and used our, you know, hotels, campgrounds, restaurants, and gas stations, retail stores, grocery stores, and so on. Many also made their vacation out of their travels by and patronizing our other local tourism businesses. And, you know, many of our locals here also kind of had their guests and family members come in and stay with them during the time, because they know, you know, from previous events that we've had, that this is going to be a fun thing. So that was kind of cool to see as well. Positive impact to our community. Many attendees reported seeing the Alpine area for the first time while attending the show. This will benefit our area in the long term, as many shared beautiful pictures and praise on highlighting our unique picturesque location. Many locals attended from throughout Star Valley, Jackson, and even Driggs and Victor. This is a great way of promoting the Alpine area as an easy, beautiful, and relaxing place to return to. Local business were prioritized to provide food, staffing, and vending for the festival. I mean, we did have like, you know, so much money that was budgeted for the expenses of the show, you know, went back to local businesses here as well. So, The response from those businesses was universally positive. The feedback we received from attendees was overwhelming and positive. After the event, I mean, we've had hundreds of messages and calls saying, hey, when's the next one, and so on. So our objectives were met and generally exceeded our expectations on this show. We provided 2 days of incredible live music in a beautiful setting, promoted our area and the local businesses, utilized local businesses to help with the event, brought in tourists who had never been here before, and conducted a large event on budget with the help of many of our sponsors and, of course, the Alpine Tourism Board. As far as having the event again, like I said, we received, huge positive feedback. We do plan on having the event again if we can get, of course, support from our sponsors and the tourism board. Not only was the event a great success, we received, I kind of went into that positive feedback. We had such a great crew of volunteers, staff, management, and community support leading up to, during, and after the show. We believe the next show, with our supporters' help, will be even bigger and better, and look forward to working hard to make this happen again. And we, I think, have a huge potential to get easily 2,000 attendees on the next one. We capped the following day as a small intimate show at 250, but our intentions, and I might go into this a little bit coming up here, but our intentions are definitely to kind of increase capacity on both days so we can really maximize both days at the 4-H camp, and we're actually already in the works of planning our next show there. So changes for next time. We offered camping kind of late in the game on this one. It didn't really affect the camping because we actually sold out of camping spaces, so that was a huge benefit to the show, offering camping, but we're going to offer it from day one on the next one instead of waiting, I think, a month or two before we started offering that after we announced the show. So we can definitely capitalize on that camping. We also plan on having 2 stages playing music, so as one is kind of setting up and doing sound check for the next set, there's another stage playing music at the same time. So we'll have, constant music playing instead of, a break of 45 minutes or an hour between sets. We'd like to increase the capacity of the show to around 2,000 people, and would move our retail vendors into the food truck area so we can create more space on the lawn and have even more attendees at the event, but not try to overcrowd it at the same time, of course. Both days we would open up to more attendees and keep the prices at a level that would attract, like we did this year on the first day. That $45 to $55 price point was kind of a good price point to attract a lot of people to come in from all different areas with different budgets in their mind. Along with these goals, we are having multiple post-show meetings right now on how to improve the venue, camping, parking, and other aspects of the event. Connections for future partnerships. This show really turned heads and brought the attention for the love of live music, the beautiful area of Alpine, and the potential for bigger and better events in the future. Hundreds of people reached out to work, volunteer, and be a part of this event and future events. Every year we have secured more sponsors, and we expect this to continue in the future. Other than that, final expenses and budget is attached. Of course, receipts are available upon request, but the first day ticket sales were around 88,000 and expenses were 77,000. So on the second day, let's see, where is that one? Second day, here we go. So we had about $23,000 in sales of ticket sales, and we had about $25,000 in expenses. So slightly down on the second day, but of course, these are the reasons why we ask for the support of our sponsors and tourism board, as that kind of makes a negative turn into a positive in those situations. That's about all I have on it. What kind of questions can I answer for you guys?
I don't have any I think you were answering all the questions I had as you went along.
No, all the feedback I got, Dave, was nothing but positive.
Same.
From the 4-H, Dave Burchard at 4-H. I kind of met with, just for another reason, but ended up talking with a few of the board members from the 4-H.
Oh, nice.
They weren't there, but they had, seemed like they were, that was kind of the thing that they were hoping to have now, and more of it at the 4-H. So you said you're going to have camping earlier. Are you limiting the camping spots and then doing kind of, how are you feeding, say, hotels, motels, RVs through it?
Well, the camping, we seem to have to limit to around 150 registered campers
Yep.
with the space that we have there. So we don't really want to overload the site either. So we're still going to keep that number around 150 registered campers. We didn't even expect for half of the amount of people to sign up for camping this year, but it was amazing because not only did we have a bunch of out-of-towners staying up there, but I know like a bunch of people that live in Alpine just drug their
Yeah.
trailer up there, and
That's what we do.
right. And I it's great because if you have a couple cocktails or something like that in the
Exactly.
evening, you can just
Not
stay.
to worry.
You got a safe place. Not hitting the roads or anything like that. So I think it was really great to bring that camping on. But, we want to get an early start here. We've been trying to secure some bands that are en route around that time, mid-August actually for next year.
That's my next question. So next year, you're thinking mid-August?
Yeah, we've just been in contact with some really well-renowned national bands that one of them's doing their first headline show at Red Rocks next May. So if we can get bands of that caliber in, I mean, it really benefits everybody. And we're on our process of trying to secure a package for a routed show that they're coming through this area in mid-August. So it's very important for Reggae in the Rockies to create to get these bands in while they're routed, because if you try to fly in bands, put them all up in lodging, then you're renting all the musical equipment and backline for them and so on. That it becomes out of our budget to be able to do these shows. So if we can get a band that's sleeping in their tour buses, that's bringing their own musical equipment, and all that kind of stuff, that it's much more cost effective for us to do these shows and makes them even makes them possible.
Right.
So we're working on some August dates. We did like the early September dates, especially as well. That it's a time when maybe tourism kind of drops a little bit here and so on. So I know that's not necessarily a great thing, but at the same time, we're tentatively planning something August 13th through 16th next year for a 2-day event, and trying to secure some of these bands that are coming through the area at that time to make this even possible. So
Okay.
we have gotten approval from the 4-H camp on those dates. So that's kind of half the battle right there too. So I think we can really make something special here on an annual
Do you
basis.
know when you'll find out if you got those dates locked in for sure? How do you?
Well, we have those dates locked in right now with the 4-H camp,
Oh,
but
you
we
do,
just don't have anything locked in with any bands yet
Okay.
before we finish
So
the
the
negotiating process
locations
here.
already secure.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Exactly. So we have to make sure we had that.
Will that be the car show? It's usually that weekend, isn't it?
Car show?
That's a good question.
Well, this is not my computer. This year, when was it?
It's usually the third weekend in August, I believe.
This year it was the 16th, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same weekend. Which could be,
I would say it's not necessarily a bad
it's
thing.
not necessarily that thing, no.
Yeah, the show would be on the 14th and 15th. I mean, we're obviously renting out the property from the 13th to the 17th.
24.
Is that correct, though?
No. It says it's August 17th, 2024.
Oh,
Oh, it's old. No one updated it. What
gotcha.
you're saying. What do you call it now?
I know,
But yeah,
didn't you partner with,
bring a lot of people to the car show.
yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
you
something like
partner
I said.
with
That's not a bad thing.
Cobblestone or the RV park to like take a block of rooms?
Yeah, so
that
we
work
know
out?
we got some more ideas to kind of make this thing a little bigger and better. You know, we'd like to offer some packages this year where you can buy like a weekend pass to the show as well as a room package, you know, from Cobblestone. So my next step is to kind of go to Cobblestone, see if we can just rent out the whole hotel, you know, and then basically, you know, we'd offer these packages online with the ticket. So instead of just being able to buy tickets or camping passes on our site, you know, you can pay, you know, hypothetical number here, but let's say $1,000, you get 2 nights lodging, 2 days of show, you know, type of thing, you know, or maybe a camping package instead, or something like that with the RV park or something like that, you know. So that's kind of our intention for the next one, is just kind of make it a little bigger and better, you know. And maybe even eventually, you know, you can offer some excursions on there or something like that. Like, hey, you know, throw in whitewater rafting for $50 a person, or, you know, or ATV ride or whatever, you know, is out there. So,
Yeah, it's all about packaging.
Is there,
Yeah.
what, skydiving? I remember we did
Yeah.
skydiving
Yeah,
once.
that's right.
Do skydiving.
bungee jumping off the bridge.
Was it busy in town,
The
that
reggae?
weekend of reggae?
Yeah, because that weekend it was busy in town because it was also Lodija.
Those are two.
Yeah, it was Lodija, and then,
Right, definitely had some challenges there trying to get hotel rooms and porta potties and stuff out, because when Lodija was
Because of
here.
that, yeah.
You know, and then Old Bill's Fun Run was the
that's right,
Saturday.
that was the other one.
So that was, you know, we definitely lost, I think, some people, you know, going to that, and, you know, hunting season, you know, I know personally, you know, a lot of people that didn't come because it was hunting season, and, some of these folks, their priorities out there hunting. The positive things about August is that, you know, school's still out at that time, so people can plan like a
Still travel
family
with their
trip up
kids,
here,
yeah.
whether they're from, you know, Utah or another state. They can say, hey, I'm gonna go to the reggae show with my family and my kids, and I'm gonna also visit, you know, all these other places around the area that are so beautiful, and the national parks and so on. So I think that'll be good to, you know, have that during, you know, when people can actually make a vacation out of it, you
Right.
know?
Yeah,
Agree.
Spend even more money up here, you know, so.
no, it was, yeah, like I say, I didn't hear one negative comment.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely, you know, you know, we just really fortunate with all the volunteers and help that we had, like, just people were really into it, and, you know, when you have your heart and soul into something, you know, I think everybody makes a good effort to make it go right, so it was really cool.
Awesome, thanks, Dave.
Makes it worth all the hard work.
No, I think it's cool.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
So
Now,
Jeremy,
put your other hat on. I was just gonna say, would you like to present on fireworks?
Andrew was gonna do it, and then he
Yeah.
had something to do, and then Eric was gonna do it, and he didn't want to sit. And I didn't go to fireworks.
I watched it from my house.
Maybe you should.
From what I could tell, it was good.
I mean, I wrote the report.
It was good. It went on longer than it always goes on longer than I expect.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
And, yeah, and possibly next year will be even bigger
Yeah, we're gonna set the town on fire.
on the agenda.
And the other one is the welcome sign.
Oh, yeah, and that's definitely you. Because you are the welcome signs.
It was you.
What do you want to know? Let me find my report.
3 welcome signs.
Three welcome signs,
I've had,
$48,000.
yep,
Those signs look nice.
They're beautiful signs.
Yes, they
yep.
are.
I've had, you know, with the exception of one Facebook post, that, again, that's why I said,
They just don't, they're not fully educated.
yeah, exactly. And that was the whole point of the beginning of the meeting is, you know, to educate. You know, I wish funds here could go to capital projects and infrastructure projects, but, it has to go to, you know, things that deal with tourism and advertising
I have
and,
heard that all the other towns have done.
Ooh,
Yes.
really? That's
Yeah.
all I need to hear.
yeah, in fact, I just got, what meeting did I have this week that somebody from the county is like, I finally saw the new signs. Man, they're nice. I'm like, yes,
Nice, good.
yeah,
That was a long,
We had somebody that didn't like them?
time coming.
yeah. I'm gonna be curious to see how they hold up for winter.
Real town now.
But, what's that?
We're a real town now.
I
Yes.
know, we're actually a
It's
town.
official.
People
Did we have
call,
somebody that
"Where the
didn't like
hell
them
are
on
we?"
Facebook?
Oh, we're in Alpine.
Did we have somebody that didn't like them on Facebook? Is that what you're saying?
They just would, they thought they were a bit expensive and they would have let them go to Streets and Roads.
Oh. Okay.
Like, go, Grace needs to repay. Yeah, it does.
Well, it does, for the home audience, that is a different, funding mechanism. We tried that last year, that was our SPET, tax proposal, is to redo the grays, and, that got voted down. So, we do what we can with the funds that we have under the statutes that we have to abide by.
Also, I can tell you that I've seen cars pull over and take
Oh, yeah?
pictures. And I can tell you that I've never seen cars pull over and take pictures.
Well, no.
Well,
That's the impact on tourism.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Has there been any sticker graffiti yet? No. I think it might be hard, the material that's on,
Don't give anybody a.
yeah, because the material that's on the
I
sign,
never got sticker graffiti before, so I don't
Nobody's
know.
well,
attached
that's
any
because nobody
laws to
cared
it.
before.
Yes, it was that bad.
It was temporary. It wasn't that it was that bad, it was, everybody knew, that's temporary, I'm not gonna waste my
Okay,
time.
not gonna bother
But no,
putting my
it's
best
good.
stickers on there.
I do think eventually they should get lighted, because I came out of the canyon
Mm,
the other night and it was so dark. You can see it once your headlights hit it,
yeah, okay,
split second, and then you're past it.
huh. Yeah, okay.
No, it's good.
I think it's
I think it turned out really well.
a really good project.
Thanks for all your hard work
For sure.
and your
That's not-
persistence.
Yeah, signs are
2019,
not easy.
2019,
2019, you've been at
Is that when you
it,
started?
6 years.
Really?
when I started trying to get the sign.
Yeah. Okay, let's get this thing going, and, let's see. Oh, so let's see, we're down to K, item number K. Updated logo for advertising on banners.
This is bolder on the outside.
Yeah, nice. So I asked Melody if we could bold it up. I saw it like for the music series, and I think it was, yeah, Dave, it was yours. Just kind of looking at them like,
it
can't
hard to
really
read?
tell what the hell that is.
Okay.
So I asked Melody to bold it up. I like the bold. What do you guys think?
I like it better.
Yeah, it is more readable. I
I don't
thought
wanna
that
make it
on,
real pop.
on here. I was looking
Yeah.
at it on his.
Yeah, to me, I like, is that a
All I could
coffee
see is-
that
yeah.
a coffee shop? What's
Okay.
going on? I can't see.
No, I thought the same thing when I was looking on his
Yeah.
flyer.
Yeah, so, yeah, I like the bold. Awesome. With that, want to set, a budget amount, to create stickers, some nice vinyl stickers, a banner, maybe 2 banners actually, and then a fluty wavy flag, whatever
Is
they're
it a feather
called.
flag or whatever? I think they're called
Yeah,
feather
what are
flags.
they called?
Feather flags?
Feather flag, yeah,
I think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Where do you want to put those?
I want, they'll stay here, but for events like music, the stickers, just to have, so, like with, I know I was, trying to design signs on behalf of Alpine Trails and Pathways for this year's, trails. To do it on the cheap, I couldn't put in 3 logos, I could put in 2. So in that case, but I could put a blank spot. So if it's something where we have a sticker, we can, you know, like a
Slap a-
5x5
slap our sticker on
sticker.
it?
We can slap a sticker on there, you know, if a grant applicant, is awarded and they're having their event and they're like, I don't have, you know, I'm not afraid to slap our sticker on there and be like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, this
Okay.
is, we are. So my guess, I'm thinking like maybe what do you think for stickers, 50 to start? Because again,
50's nothing.
um,
Yeah.
50 stickers?
50 stickers, because my apprehension to go more is, you know, this goes back to the people next year.
Yep.
If it gets voted back in, then we'll reassess and order more.
Okay.
But for, I think, 50 stickers
Yeah,
last
that,
year.
I mean, that'd be, cost nothing, it'd be cheap.
Yeah.
That'd be nothing. Cool.
And then, a couple of banners, be perfect for like the parades, the events.
Like a 3x5 or something, or?
Yeah, like a 3-foot, and then, our logo, Alpine, travel and tourism.
Put them up at the events that the tourism board supports as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yep.
Cool.
And then a feather flag. I don't know,
2, 1.
Depends on how tall you want them and some, you know what I mean?
I don't have any experience with feather flags.
It depends on how intricate you want with them, just like any other flag. I mean, if you do multiple colors, it costs more. Depends on how tall you want them, it costs more. So you just kind of got to get the ball rolling, and then they'll
have
give
a
you
number
all
in
of that.
so I don't, my thought was like $1,500, you know, but, I mean, I would think that would be plenty for 50 stickers and, because I know I'm trying to think, for ATAP, our 2 banners, I want to say our banners were maybe $250, and then our stickers, we had, I don't know, 100, maybe 150,
Yeah,
and,
1,500 probably plenty.
yeah, that's my thought would be, 1,500, but with the thought of like making it classic, not extravagant.
Sounds good to me, yeah, I'm kind of in that ballpark.
Okay. So can I get a motion for approval of up to $1,500 to be spent on advertising, kind of supplies, logo, and, so be spent on stickers, banners, and feather flags for our logo, for advertising, at events and special occasions.
Motion to approve up to $1,500 for banners, stickers, motion flags for the Alpine Tourism Board at events.
A second?
All right, any other thoughts, discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. And then we need to set a budget for our education campaign going into 2026 for the lodging tax. Do you have any idea what we spent in 2022? I don't either. Well, we're gonna have another meeting. Why don't we look into that a little bit more?
Okay.
So it'll be advertising, it'll be, advertising, possibly a couple of workshops, open, public workshops. And then, I don't know if it costs anything to register with the county. Shouldn't to put it on the ballot. But let's look into it and then we'll bring it up for our next meeting. And then, did everybody have a chance to look over the May meeting minutes?
The May meeting minutes?
Yeah.
No.
In the back.
Just trying to do.
Yep, I'm familiar with those. Motion to approve, May meeting minutes for Alpine Tourism Board, last May 25th, 2025?
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any discussion?
No?
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, discussion items be next meeting date, but, so we're changing it up. Once they find the information that we need?
They're gonna,
Find it tomorrow?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So do you wanna set a tentative date? Since
Y-
Thanksgiving's
Yeah,
coming?
so for the next 3 weeks, let's just say, because we have, how about for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah,
'Cause
next
three-
2 weeks,
three-
we got Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
next week.
Thanksgiving, so, let's see,
So
I'm
anyway,
actually heading out of town the 20th.
So much.
so it needs to be the 13th or after
Why
Thanksgiving.
don't we say the 19th? How's everybody on that
Oh, we can do that,
Wednesday?
okay.
And then if not the 19th, then it'll have to be the 3rd or the 4th.
I think we better do it before Thanksgiving, but
Say that, begin,
I just think we should do it before Thanksgiving, just
Yeah.
because I think there's some urgency in some of the stuff, and
yeah,
So 19th, everyone good with 19th?
I'm good with that,
I'm
yeah.
good with 19th,
Okay.
6 PM?
6 PM,
So I'll email those other guys tomorrow,
great,
and Duke said he'd have it next week.
yeah. All right,
Is
so
there
we'll
anything
have
else?
tentatively the 19th at 6 PM here. Any other discussion items that you guys have?
No, for me, thank you.
No, yep, I do not.
All right, then, how about a little motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, 18 minutes over. I was hoping to keep it under 2 hours. This was a long one.